Little bit of it just came back. Today is end of the first week of 2025. 1 week down, 51 more to go of this year. It has been 5 years since, well, we're just gonna go with 5 years. We'll do a little bit of rounding, but I have the exact same goals, dreams, things that I want to accomplish, things that I want to go, that I had 5 years ago. And I'm like probably marginally farther behind. But that's with one exception. And that being that I am a very different person than I was 5 years ago. I have grown immensely. I know that that counts and is important and needed to happen. Like, the idea that the things that I wanted to do 5 years ago and make and accomplish and experience, I'm not any closer to, scares the living shit out of me. I'm like, 5 years ago, I was like, yeah, totally. Like, next year, this is happening. And now, like, 5 years have gone by. And I'm like, 5 years ago, I was, what am I, 23, almost 24. I was 19. And, like, I was like, oh, yeah, you know, like, by the time I'm 25, like, I'm going to have done all of this stuff. And none of it's happened. Don't get me wrong. The last 5 years have also been the 5 best years of my life so far. I feel like if I don't get my shit together and get, like, super intentional about what I'm doing, how I'm spending my time, you know, the choices I'm making, I could just, like, 5 more years could go by and I still could have done none of them. And then it's going to be, like, the time that, like, I want to have kids and, like, settle down and, like, anyways, this quote that says, anything that you're not changing, you're choosing to keep the same, which is like, duh. But that, like, struck me of, like, there's all kinds of things in my life that I would like to be different. But if I'm not actively choosing every day to be making any incremental steps towards changing those, they're not just going to change by themselves. And if where I've gotten to so far is all a series of choices that I've made, whether consciously, unconsciously, whatever, then the only way for me to go from where I am currently to where I want to be in the future, it's all just going to be a matter of more choices. And what do I choose? All I have to do is start figuring out what choices do I need to make different so that the next 5 years aren't like the last 5 years in the ways that I want them to be different. And that gives me somewhere to start. My big, like, going into the new year of 2025 was, okay, I'm going to, like, go hardcore into digging into my life of what choices can I start making differently that will start me down the road of acquiring the things that I want to be different this year than I had last year. So yeah, well, the last 5 years have been the best 5 years, not 4, 5 years of my life. They've also been probably the most challenging. I need to hold it up here. Shit just happens. Like, there's been a portion of me at times over the last 5 years that has just been like, this is just shitty luck. And there's no way, like, if I can just survive this and get to the next year, things will be different. It'll go better. Like, and that consistently has not been the case. Every single year has dropped a bigger, more challenging problem on me than the last year. And so, drawing from that, historically speaking, this next year is going to have some hard-ass problems to deal with. And there's going to be a lot of shit that's going to happen that's going to be completely out of my control. And if I just plan that is just going to be the norm, life is going to be tough, stuff is just going to come out of nowhere, and I'm just going to have to deal with it, then the only thing left for me to do is to figure out how I can improve, how I can grow, how I can make better choices, so that when those stupid life things that just arrive and are painful and annoying and like, really, how, like there's totally days and weeks and months where it's just like everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. No, not everything. Things definitely could have been worse, but it still was extremely overwhelming and challenging. Yeah, anyways, to some degree, actually, no, to a lot of degree, a lot of my problems and challenges and responsibilities have been things that I have taken on voluntarily. Like, I could have done something different. I could have sold this place, gotten rid of a vehicle, but I didn't choose to have the problem. A lot of the difficulty in my life has been, I don't know about self-inflicted, but like, I chose this path and I knew it was going to be hard. And I always know I have the option to go choose a different path, but I don't want to. I want to do this one. And this one's going to be super hard. The difficulty that I've chosen, and since I'm going to keep choosing it, it's quite likely that if I go after, in addition to the life I've already chosen, more experiences and adventures and want to accomplish more things, I'm just going to run into bigger challenges than I already have. And thus, I have to stop waiting and or hoping that next year is going to be better or easier, because historically it hasn't been. So the last 5 years have been super tough. The next 5 years are probably only going to get tougher, because I'm just going to keep trying to take on harder things and more difficult challenges and bigger responsibilities. And so, if that's the case, this is the thing I'm trying to get to, is if I don't want the last 5 years to be, if I want the next 5 years to be different than the last 5 years, and for me to make progress towards those goals and dreams and adventures and experiences, then the only thing that I have left, since there's shit's just gonna happen and I don't get any control over that, is for me to grow. And one of those things is to start making different choices, since shit just happens in life that we don't get any control over. But there is a lot of stuff that I do get control over, and I do have the ability and the freedom and options. And so I want to make different choices the next 5 years than I made the last 5 years, with the things that I want to improve and get better at. If there is anything that you know of, that you want to accomplish, that you want to change in your life, that you know could have a positive benefit on your life in any area, and have not started doing that yet, here is my encouragement to do so. I'm trying to start those things, and you totally should too. So, here's to 1 week down, 51 more weeks to go of this year, and let's have a freaking awesome year. I'm super pumped, and I want to get everybody else pumped about it. Anybody who needs some encouragement or is down or afraid to start something new, let's just do it. Like, let's stop waiting and let's have a freaking awesome year.